Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back on League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys for a little bit of, I'll call it highlights. I suppose they're highlights from the games. Really, the only game to touch on from today is Nongshim versus Damwon. And Mark, it was the return. We get Ghost back into the lineup. Canyon is playing jungle. Showmaker's playing mid. And back to World Championship form, right?
Not exactly. Certainly in game number 1 of this series, where it is Damwon getting out ahead, was not Damwon World Championship Damwon, even with Ghost back into the lineup. Certainly a shock, I think, to a lot of people, ourselves included, given the past couple of games and the roster that they were going with, and the significance of making that type of roster change and what had happened. Didn't think we'd be seeing Ghost right back in the lineup, and let alone thinking that he's back in the lineup for a Nongshim series, which, oh my goodness, Nongshim is an important series. All of a sudden,
they're actually good.
They're absolutely good, and right up there, climbing in the standings behind Damwon Kia.
You had them both with a 4-2 record coming into this match, and with Ghost in the lineup, it's apparently immediately Beryl saying, "Oh, Ghost is back. Let me pull out the Heimerdinger." That's what we want to match up against. This was a very puzzling series because this is the starting 5, of course, save for Nuggery and for Khan, that won the World Championship, that won the Spring Split, and Ghost comes back in games 2 and 3. What? That did not look like Damwon on the Rift. 25-1 in kills. They were 1 kill, 1 dragon away from getting perfect gamed by Nongshim.
And the worst thing is, when you look at that game too, you evaluate these mistakes, the bad moments, the things that is happening. And then you go to game 3 and they're even worse. It's getting unbelievable for this Damwon team, the advantages that were coming through. You're watching game 1, and yeah, it's exactly what we had seen throughout the majority of the split against Nongshim, in the sense of, Khan is beaten up on Rich in the top side, what you would expect. Game 2, a little bit more so in the favor of Rich. Game 3, Rich is beating up on Khan. Where is this coming from?
And it's 3 straight games of Viego, by the way, for Khan. Not really changing that matchup on his side at all, but pretty much across the board. Listen, just because Ghost comes back to the lineup, do not be flaming solely him for these losses. Yeah, the bot lane definitely got outmatched, but the pick ban wasn't there. Aside from game 1, Showmaker looked good on the LeBlanc. Okay, sure. But then you're throwing him on Lulu and Renekton. And the Renekton Nidalee memes continue. This 0-6 comp that Damwon have had. Now 0-7. And 38-4 in kills across games 2 and 3 in favor of Nongshim. This is what we used to see Damwon do to opposing teams.
And I'm really not a fan of the Renekton Nidalee combo right now. I understand it, and I get that, we've seen it be successful many seasons ago. We've seen it be successful just this past World. We've seen it be somewhat successful just this past World Championship. Have we seen it be successful now? No. As you said, 0-7, the record completely against this type of move. Doesn't matter who's playing it. Didn't like to see it. And then even when you're going into some of these other reasons why things went bad, you said it wasn't just the bottom lane. You can look at the jungle matchup, talking about Peanut and Canyon, and Peanut was outclassing Canyon in this one. And that is not nearly the same surprise when I talked about the differences between game 1 and game 3 in the top side with the Rich Khan matchup. But absolutely needs to be mentioned that Peanut stepped up to the plate against an elite jungler like Canyon and was clearly the better one throughout the series.
I think, obviously, Damwon is not playing close to the level that we've seen for so many splits out of them. But yeah, Nongshim is playing well. So when Damwon is in this slump, not playing that well, you best believe somebody like Nongshim's going to beat up on them. Gory has been probably the biggest reason why they've looked so much better in summer, as really the only actual roster change. Peanut had good moments even in spring. And yeah, this was a good game 2 and 3 performance out of Rich. So Nongshim, they're a legit playoff team. That's it.
Absolutely a legit playoff team. And the question is, as far as how far they're going to be able to go, is obviously one dictated what we just saw in this series, what you're going to be getting from someone like Rich in that top side, knowing how valuable these solo lanes are. And then especially against teams like Damwon, seeing what level they're at and how well they're prepared for it, because today's answer is they're not up to that match of what Nongshim was able to put out. And I know that it's, just a game 3 type of loss situation. You expand this to a best of 5 series, and I'm still not seeing Damwon with the level of performance that we got today getting by what Nongshim was putting out on the Rift.
It's the scariest and most panicked 4-3 record Damwon has that you're going to see. And the question is, what's this roster going to be going forward now? Well, the squad has announced that they will be promoting Rahel, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly, their AD carry from Damwon Kia Challengers. And you want to talk about not having faith in Ghost or the role swap? This guy is 17 years old, and he's played 8 games in the Challenger Series, Mark. That's all he's played. Now, he's 6-2 since he's come in, so there's a positive there. But 8 games.
And in those 8 games, he has clearly shown skill and potential to warrant some type of understanding for these type of moves. But obviously, to make this type of change for this team that has this significant of expectations and goals set out for themselves, absolutely a bit of a shock, and certainly one that is continuing this shocking trend that we have with this Damwon roster and what they're putting out on the Rift. And all this is going on, knowing that the most important matchup for them of all so far this summer split is right around the corner with that Gen G matchup.
And should be noted that Rahel can't start till week 5, so it's either going to be Ghost or the roll swap for Damwon against Gen G. Damwon, just give T1 a call. Can you give us one of your 80 carries? Maybe your sub one at the very least?
You must have gotten enough to look at for the rest of T1. You saw the entirety of that roster, that lineup, that organization come through in the spring split. It is a very, very puzzling situation, and one that I'm not sure that we have seen for a team with this significant of expectations before.
For a defending world champion, no less. So we'll see what the roster carousel looks like for Damwon going forward. Whether it's something new or one of the things that didn't work, they're trying again. But for now, they're 4-3 after this loss to Nongshim. Got to do a little bit of weekend preview because there's, as always, so many games on the weekend and so many good ones. First, we'll start in the LCS and the LEC. It is a huge weekend for Misfits at 6-1. They have both Mad Lions and G2 on the docket. This is the week where we really see are Misfits legit contenders for the summer split?
Yeah, and my eyes right away are on that first matchup for them is going to be that matchup against the Mad Lions. I'm extremely excited for this weekend for Misfits because, as you said, this is a team that has generated this type of momentum, this type of hype, excitement about what they can do, the potential, and everything else. These matchups, these ones right in front of you, Mad Lions and G2, you got to step up and you got to deliver the level of excellent performance necessary to get the victories. And that is going to be another test for this young lineup. And I'm really thrilled to get to see what we get.
And even if they don't win, I want competitive games. I've said that before. They should be in these games. They're higher in the rankings for a reason. They've looked better in summer. It's just time to prove it this weekend. Mad Lions' other matchup, by the way, is the actual match of the week, which is versus Rogue, a rematch of the spring finals. And so it's a time to prove themselves for Misfits. It's a week for Mad Lions to be like, hey, we're still the defending LEC champs. Put more respect on us.
Yeah, but they certainly need a bounce back, given what happened this past weekend for them and the performance that we saw from them. And it's a stiff test, not just in the sense of knowing these teams, but the specifics of these type of matchups. When you're looking at Rogue for me, and you're talking about what has been a weakness for the Mad Lions since coming back to MSI, it has been the inconsistency, some of the decisions made from that dual bottom lane, 2v2, Karzi and Kaiser. And you're talking about heading into Rogue's matchup against what Hans Sama's going to be there looking to pick up every single kill possible. Going to be some tough tests.
Yeah, it's a tough week for Mad Lions to be able to prove that they can bounce back. Over in the LCS, it's Team Liquid and Cloud9. They're going to be getting put to the test. The week kicks off on the Friday, which it's going to be today. Team Liquid versus 100 Thieves. Anyone matching up against 100 Thieves is a challenge. And Cloud9 have both Team Liquid and TSM on the schedule this week. For a team Mad Lions are looking for a bounce back. Cloud9 desperately need a bounce back.
It feels almost strange to be getting these type of matchups so soon after we just had it almost a week, 2 weeks ago.
Summer schedule, baby, playing everyone 3 times.
But that's how it goes for the summer split in the LCS. Heavy hitting games right out of the gate. You said Team Liquid 100 Thieves. That's an extremely exciting one. Alphari back in the lineup, looking to put a stop to that hype train that is what is the 100 Thieves and Abedage's role coming into LCS. And then there's even more, which is crazy to say that we've already had that one as our big prime match for the Friday.
You know Alphari is going to be pumped to get back into the Rift, onto the Rift, and go up against someday and Fudge right away to kind of prove, guys, I'm still the best top laner. I'm still the best player in the LCS. Everyone's talking about this Abadage guy. No.
And that's all fair, and that's good that he needs to go up against those guys. I think those are the names from spring for sure, and especially the elite, quote-unquote elite teams, or should be in the LCS. But I think we got to start putting Huni back on that list, and that's a scary one. Because anytime we've put Huni in that type of conversation with Alphari, it has been Daddy Alphari spanking around in that top side, making sure he is a massive threat. But Huni has performed very well this summer split for TSM especially, and I think he deserves a shout out into that top laner conversation.
Nobody can climb the top lane rankings and drop as fast as Huni can, as we've seen throughout his entire career. LCK LPL also has, of course, some banger matches over the weekend, and T1 versus Afrika, it's not your typical banger kind of match, but both sitting at 4-3, it's actually a pretty important one.
Yeah, it's a mix of Afrika Freaks have certainly bounced back into the category, or at least in the level of play that we expected from them, more or less, with this lineup, the roster, what they should be capable of providing a caliber of fire. T1, this is not what you should have been able to do. You should have been better this summer split and everything else. And so this is where you're sending in a situation. This means more than it should have a couple of weeks ago, but that does not take away from our hype for this matchup.
Yeah, the other LCK one we kind of alluded to already is the Damwon versus Gen G. I don't know if I'm more or less hyped after that Nongshim showing versus Damwon, but I fully expect it to somehow be a 2-0 in the favor of Damwon, and then everyone just jumps on to flaming Gen G. That's what I'm expecting.
This feels like, all of a sudden you're flipping through the channels on TV. You stop at the Food Network. You see a crazy, wild, exotic dish, and you're like, oh, man, I've never tried that. That might be tasty. You're going to the restaurant. You've got hype about this dish, but you don't know how it's going to taste. That's what I'm looking at with that matchup, Gen G and Damwon, because I'm hyped. It's Gen G. It's Damwon. But I have no idea what the taste, the expectation is going to be, knowing that there is such a variance in whether we're getting, if it's Showmaker and Ruler, or, Ghost is back in the lineup type of situation with Damwon.
Or so it ends up you go to this restaurant and it's not the main chef who's there, so the dish is, it's no good. It's the chef's one day off, so you picked the wrong day. That could be what happens there. The LPL matches, Suning versus RNG, I mean, you look at the records, doesn't scream anything exciting. But if RNG drops this, they're 1-5, Mark. 1-5.
And it needs to be noted that not just, obviously the significance and embarrassment of 1-5 as your record starting out, all of a sudden, you're starting to realize that even with how long summer split is and how many games you got to go through in the LPL, knowing how many teams, how many of them are super quality teams that you got to now challenge and go up against, fighting an uphill battle for playoffs? That's what we're talking about with how bad this start has been for RNG. Knowing that they are MSI champions, knowing that they are one of the elite teams, or should be talent-wise, in the LPL, and they are in this type of danger from this start of being just too far behind the wheel.
Yeah, and I mean, Suning hasn't looked bad at times throughout the LPL. They're a team that should be vying for playoffs as well, so it's not out of the question that they do take down RNG in this set. The other more exciting matchup for me is EDG versus TES. Knight has been playing incredibly well in summer. Top just had a great series in their last showing. EDG, obviously, still perfect. Only dropped a single game. I don't know if TES is the team to take them down, but I could see this going 3 games at least.
Yeah, it's time to get a good brawl of the Titans in the LPL between EDG, Top Esports. You mentioned Knight and the form that he has been in. For me, it's looking down to that bottom side and the question about Jackie Love, because in the past week or two has been better, been a lot more consistent, less dangerous. And I say dangerous in the sense of Jackie Love experiencing a gray screen type of danger for top esports in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's been good at
but
that.
Again, the other side of this matchup, looking at EDG and how things have gone, and especially this past week for Viper, that is a very scary matchup.
Yeah, that's the problem. When you're opposite Viper, and if your AD carry underperforms, I mean, game series is over. Because Viper, he doesn't know what underperforming is since he's come to the LPL.
Yeah, and let alone even Viper. We've talked about this week Mako and the job that he has done alongside Viper, certainly deserving some praise for that job. And again, this is going to be the hype one from the LPL this weekend.
EDG or Gen G, you got to be leaning if one of them's going to drop a game this weekend. Is it Gen G? I mean, Top has looked so much better than Damwon, but EDG is just that much better than Gen G, right?
It's not about the other side. It's more so just about how strong my faith is in EDG than it is about any type of doubts in Gen G or any type of belief in Damwon on the other side. It really is about how dominant and how good EDG have looked and reestablishing them as my top team. They were my top team for the majority of spring, slipped towards the end, and they've jumped right back in there for summer.
Yeah, they've definitely been the most consistent team in the LPL, which is the best region, which is why they're number one. But plenty of amazing matchups, as every weekend has been basically in the summer split. That's it today, though, for League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys. As always, enjoy the games on the weekend. We'll be here to recap them with you on Monday. Catch you on the Flippity Flip.